Learning Hilchos Sukkah Perek Hey Halacha Yud Zayin. Poras oleo begen melamalo. If you spread out a garment on top of the schach, or sheporas tachteo, or underneath the schach, Machon Nesher, because to keep the leaves from falling down, psulo, it's possible. Let's see what it says in the Peirush. Poras oleo begen melamalo. If you put a garment on top on the schach, or sheporas tachteo, you put it underneath. Machon Nesher. The Menach means kedei that so that the leaves of the schach should not fall onto the table. Psulo, it's possible. Also kedei lenoiso, but if he did it for the beauty of the sukkah, ksher, it's kosher. V'chein imsirachol kilchoso, so too if he covered it la halacha, ki halacha v'itra b'minei Peirush b'minei megodim, and he crowned it with types of fruits and types of goodies, the kelim and gam and vessels, shetluyim bein, and that are hung bein because bein mischach, both on the walls or on the schach, kedei oiso, to make it beautiful. It's ksher, it's kosher. My Mishnah has the Machon Sukkah in Yud and Lulav. If you put on a sheet because of the heat, underneath it because of the leaves, it's possible. The Gemara says, this is only because of the dropping leaves. I want to make it beautify it, it's kosher. The Gemara brings a proof to this from the Brisa. If you cover it with Halacha, and he crowned it with sheets which are have beautiful pictures, or he hung up nuts and farsikim, peaches, it's kosher. If you can do something to make it for beautify, it's kosher. The Gemara pushes this off. Maybe the Brisa is talking about it's not talking that they're laying it widthwise, but rather they're laying sideways, and therefore there's no proof to Rav Chisda. But Halacha is like Rav Chisda. The Brisa explains that even if he put the sheet under the schach, it's kosher. That's the way the Rif codifies the Halacha as well. Rabbeinu Manoach explains the words of the Mishnah. He was spread out on a sheet because of the sun, that even before he put out the sheet, the shade was greater than the sun. It didn't make the sun. But he doesn't want to have the heat of the sun touch him. And even though the shade is enough, since he put out the sheet, it would be possible like he would be under a tree. He's sitting in the shade of the sheet and not of the sukkah. Further, another reason is because the sheet is makabel tumah. It's a vessel. The garment is also something which is called a vessel, and it looks like he's making a schach from something which can receive tumah. As we remember before, it cannot be. It's not kosher. It can receive tumah. The Rabbeinu Tam disagrees, and he's of the opinion that if you put it before the sun, it's possible that without the sadin, the schach would dry up from the sun, the heat of the sun. And therefore, then at that point, the sunlight would go through more than the shade. Therefore, the sheet is actually fulfilling a purpose. It's making the schach kosher. Therefore, the sukkah is possible. He also explains underneath it, because of what falls down, that the leaves of the schach will fall down, and then there won't be enough shade, and therefore it's also possible because the sheet is helping the schach to be kosher schach. But if he put on schach that's halacha, where you have enough shade without the sheet, and he put on top of it or underneath it a sheet, since it was halacha, he's just adding. And the Rambam is of the opinions we saw in Halacha Yud Beis that if he did it first halacha and then put on it something that's growing, then it's kosher, even though the gefen is more than the sunlight, like Rabbeinu Tam. The sukkah that's under a tree, it's possible when the tree was before the schach. Therefore, we have to explain that's talking that he put on the sheet before he put down the schach, and therefore it's possible. But if he would put out the sheet after he put the schach, it'd be kosher. Rae Gann decides that when he covered it, Hilchos, and then afterwards he adorned it. That's what it says. The Raisa makes it kosher only if he did it for beauty. That if he did it not for beauty, it's possible, even though he did the schach before, and it was Hilchos. Therefore, Rae Gann is of the opinion if you put on a sheet not for beauty's sake, it's possible. So the Rae Gann agrees with him. But Rae Gann infers that this is the thoughts of the Rambam. He doesn't write he spread out a garment because of the sun, like the Mishnah. That means it's always possible, even if the shade is greater from the sun, and it's even covered Hilchos before he puts out the sheet. Rae Gann cites the Baal Shlomo that to make it beautified, it's kosher only if he put out the schach and then spread out the sheet. But if you spread out the sheet and then put on the schach, it's possible, because even though it's for beauty, that's not the way you do it. And with this is exacting the language of the Rambam. So he writes shiur Hilchos. First he did a Halacha, and afterwards he put on fruits to make it nice. So it's kosher. He gets to schach tchina. What he said, poras aleo beged, is also referring to the same situation. At first he covered it Halacha. Thus the Rambam is stringent in two parts. You have to do it first Halacha, and then he has to put on the satin because of the sun, or underneath it because of the dropping leaves. It's possible, not like Rabbi Tam, that he's machshir if he spread out after the sukkah was kosher. Even when he spread it out to make it more beautiful, it's kosher only if he did the schach to begin with. Shulchan Aruch says the Halacha. If you spread out a sheet because of the sun, or underneath it because of the nesher, what falls down, it's possible. But if you didn't put it out only for its beauty, it's kosher. Mishnah Berurah explains that since he did it for the sukkah, the sheet becomes bottle. It's not reckoned with because it's part of the schach. And only if the sukkah to begin with had more shade than sun without the sheet. Otherwise it's possible, because the sheet adds to the completion of the sukkah, and the sheet cannot be schach. Shulchan Aruch adds another condition, and it has to be closer than 4 tefachim to the schach, like in Halacha Yud Ches. And the Mishnah Berurah explains if it's more than 4 tefachim, it's not nullified to the schach, and therefore it would be a separate sukkah. Furthermore, the Shulchan Aruch states, those say that sukkah which has a schach, it's halacha, and he's afraid maybe it will dry the schach out, or the leaves will fall out and it will no longer be kosher, and he put therefore a sheet underneath it, shouldn't dry, or that the leaves should remain on it, since the sheet causes that the shade should be greater than the sun, is possible. But if it wasn't done for that purpose, only to keep away the heat of the sun, or the leaves falling down, or for beauty, it's kosher, but it has to be within 4 tefachim of the schach. And the Halacha that says that this is according with Rabbi Tam's opinion. Shulchan Aruch concludes, but to begin with, you should only do it only if it's very verifiable to everyone. It's easily seen that was his intent to watch over, or it's soaked in water. Then everyone sees that he's not putting it there only to dry. Mishnah Berurah explains that's only going to Rabbi Tam. According to the first thought, when everyone sees he's doing it to protect himself, it's forbidden. And the Achronim agree to be machmer like the first thought, only in great difficulty that he can't eat in the sukkah without putting a sheet on top. Then he can do it within 4 tefachim of the schach, but he shouldn't make it bracha leishev basukkah.